We are recording and we are live.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Assemblymember Sharon Quirk-Silva, and we are here in our beautiful Southern California with a sunny day, and we want to welcome you to our virtual senior scam stopper. And as you know, many of us have been home because of COVID, and there are lots of things that some of us have been looking around the house to do, whether it be small contracting jobs. Some of us have been on our computers much more than we have in the past. And certainly we could have even have people coming up to our door. So we have held senior scam stoppers several times as I've been elected. And I know each time that we've done it, we've been thrilled to work with experts in the field. And sadly, every day we hear of more attempts of fraud, and we see them firsthand. So before I introduce our guests, I do want to let you know we certainly have been very frustrated by the fraud that we have seen with our EDD unemployment. I can tell you that our team has been on the phones regularly with those in our district that have been frustrated or even needing support with EDD. So please call our office if you've had a difficult time there. Also, as we know, with vaccines and COVID, I'm hoping that our guests will do a little bit of touching on that, because we know there are many people now moving from fraud and EDD to trying to get personal information regarding vaccines, healthcare, and so forth. So please be very, very careful with any information you give out. And then lastly, before we introduce our guests, I will just tell you that it is so easy for you to your computer unaware, whether cause some kind, or even on your cell phones, and you're unknowingly doing this. I can tell you, I know I have, because I've had more viruses now on my own cell phone, with so many text messages now saying they're from Social Security, that packages are being delivered, and they really make you feel like you want to press that button or that text message. Please don't, because many times these are exactly how the fraud begins. Identity theft and so forth, and it's very difficult. It'll be Social Security calling you. Hang up, block the caller, and so forth. But with that, again, we hope you're well. We ask you to please make sure you call our office. We are trying to do our part at the state when we can to stop this fraud. I'm introducing a bill this year, Assembly Bill 790, basically better known as the PACE bill. And this is in fact to combat what we know has been an issue for some of our seniors, where somebody may approach their doorstep, say they want to sell them solar, some type of improvements for their housing. Basically it was door to door, and it would be under kind of a clean energy. Everybody wants to do their part, so they have many times talked seniors into signing agreements with their iPad, getting them to sign on to doing some type of projects in their home that either don't need to be done, but too often are costing them much more money for projects that aren't needed. And sadly, some have even lost their homes. So again, we are going to be putting up this bill to try to protect seniors from this. And we know there's some good actors out there, but this is certainly for the aggressive actors that we know are going after and targeting seniors. We will be getting that information, more information out as that bill moves forward. And with that, we are going to go ahead and introduce some of our guests here. I am going to let Joseph go ahead and let us know who we have on our panel today. And
not a problem.
Thank you.
So
Just really
we would
quickly,
like to
say,
welcome all of our panelists that we have available. There is Kevin Darwa, who will be speaking from the Contractor State Licensing Board, and he will be taking the lead with his presentation now for our senior scam. So Kevin, if you'd like to unmute yourself and begin with your presentation, we welcome you on.
Assemblywoman, did you have another point you were going to make, or?
Oh, I was just going to say I have to jump off. There's some big news coming down from the state. We've been working tirelessly to also get people back to work and get some of our outdoor entertainment and theme parks opened up safely. And we will be, the governor will be announcing this, and we've been working on this. So I will be jumping off the call. But again, thank you so much. And please stay safe, wear your mask, and call our office at any time. We'll put that information in the chat room. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Assemblywoman.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Assemblywoman, and thank you, staff, and thank you, fellow panelists today. So my name is Kevin Duroy. I'm from Contractor State License Board. I'm going to talk to you today about contractor scams that are still going on in the middle of the COVID pandemic. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here with some of my slides. Bear with me a moment. And as the Assemblywoman mentioned, with the COVID pandemic, there still is quite a few scams going on. People are spending more time at home. Consumers are also doing more home improvement projects around the house because they are spending more time at home, so they're looking for more contractors. Construction, for the most part, in many of the regions across California, has been allowed during the pandemic. And with more people at home, there's more of those door-to-door scams, as the Assemblywoman mentioned, whether it's PACE loans or just fast-talking unlicensed contractors who are trying to get you to sign a deal. So why are seniors targeted by unlicensed contractors? Well, seniors are vulnerable because they're trusting. They're often targeted also because they might have a nest egg or a retirement income. Unlicensed contractors will also try to manipulate seniors and establish some personal connections with them so they can take advantage of them, unfortunately. Just some of the common scams we see here at Contractor State License Board is contractors trying to get a down payment that's way too large. The down payment has to be 10% or $1,000 for a home improvement project, whatever is less. Another common scam we'll see the door-to-door sales and pressure tactics. A contractor will knock on your door and he'll say, "Hey, I'm in the area. I'm offering, free inspections, free plumbing inspections," and then he'll claim to find a problem with your plumbing and try to charge you money and try to pressure you into making a decision right away. Another example of might be scare tactics. They'll threaten to find other problems inside your home, and if you don't sign right away, those problems will get worse, and you'll be in trouble. Another thing we'll see is contractors want you to make a verbal agreement. They want just a handshake deal. Well, those don't hold up down the line if there's problems. If there's a problem down the line and it goes to mediation, arbitration, those things become a word versus word. We want you to get things in writing. We ask you to get a good solid contract, so get your agreements in writing if possible. Another reason why you want you to get things in writing is because during a project, an unlicensed contractor might all of a sudden have prices of materials start to change. With the pandemic, the prices of materials has gone up, but every time the price of materials change, whether it's lumber or other kinds of materials, those changes need to be made on the contract and those need to be put in writing. In fact, they're supposed to be initialed by the contractor and the person agreeing to the job, the consumer. You also never want to pay in cash whenever you're doing a project. You always want to pay in check, and you want to save a copy of that check, and you want to save it in a project folder. So later on down the line, you can prove that, yes, you did pay this contractor. So when do you need a licensed contractor in California? Well, if the cost of a home improvement job $500 or more, you got to hire a licensed contractor. You have more consumer protections if the contractor is in fact licensed. To find a contractor, it's easy. We usually ask you to ask your friends and family first to see if they have recommendations. If you do get those recommendations from your friends and family, we want you to check the license on our website. You can type in the license number. You can also search by a contractor's name. You can search by their business name to find it. If you're having no luck, you can use our Find My Licensed Contractor tool, which is basically you can just type in your zip code, choose what kind of contractor you're looking for, and you'll get a list of contractors in your area. You can just pick what kind of contractor you're looking for. Sorry, I'm getting a little static there. Look for the kind of contractor you're looking for. So, Paula, I'm going to mute you. It's a little staticky there. You can look for the kind of contractor you're looking for, and it'll give you a list of contractors that are in a printable list that you can use to find a contractor that way. And there's the icon on our website, how to find a licensed contractor on cslb.ca.gov. And this is an example of what the window looks like. You can just type in your city or zip code, and the drop-down menu is there to help you choose what kind of classification you're looking for. Now, you always want to check the classification of the contractor you're hiring, and you choose a contractor with the proper classification. If you need a plumber, obviously, you want to make sure the contractor has a plumbing license. Also, you want to make sure your contractor has workers' compensation coverage. If the contractor has employees, it is required. One exemption to this rule, is a roofing contractor. Roofing contractors, whether they're working by themselves or have employees, they must have workers' compensation coverage. When you meet a contractor for the first time, we're asking you to check their pocket license and a picture ID. So this is an example of a pocket license up on your screen. It's a laminated plastic card, usually about the size of a credit card. I want you to compare the name on the pocket license with the name and photo on the picture ID. Make sure the person is who it says they are and that they are in fact licensed. The reason why we ask you to do this is because the CSLB encourages contractors to list their license number on their advertising and on their vehicles and on their shirts and business cards. And unlicensed contractors will steal their license number and claim it's theirs and work under someone else's license. So that is why we ask you to check the pocket license. We also encourage you to always get 3 bids before starting any job. Get at least 3 of the estimates in writing. And this goes especially for seniors. Have someone with you when you interview these contractors and take notes. Ask questions and take notes. Let these contractors know that you're just getting estimates at this time. Ask them for references. We ask you to try to see the work in person if possible. I know that can be difficult sometimes if you're a senior and we're in the middle of a pandemic, but try to see the work in person if possible. The reason is because it's really easy nowadays to just jump onto Google and Google, beautiful stone walkways and get all these, beautiful images off the internet, and contractors can just claim that they're their own work. And they can add it to a website and have a really nice fancy website. We want you to see the work in person. So try to look at some of their past customers' work. You also want to ask the contractors about employees. Again, if they have employees, they need workers' comp. That protects you in case one of the workers gets hurt while they're on the job at your house. You could be held liable for their medical expenses. So you want to make sure that they have workers' comp. Don't ever feel pressure to make a decision. You want to tell the contractor you're getting at least 3 bids, so let them know. I'm getting 3 bids. This is just a fact-finding mission for myself. I'm just interviewing this time. And don't ever sign an estimate. You don't need to sign an estimate. It's not a contract. If they're pressuring you to sign an estimate, you don't need to sign it. Now, moving on to things you should sign and should be getting in writing, the written contract. Only the contractor who holds the license or home improvement salesperson, HIS, can negotiate and sign a contract. You should always be careful about signing an electronic contract, a contract on a tablet. That can be edited after you sign. Your signature can also be duplicated. We've had instances where Consumers have all of a sudden found themselves on the hook with several hundreds and thousands of dollars in loans. And that is after an unlicensed contractor duplicated their electronic signature and put it on loan applications. So you want to be careful, sign paper contracts, and you want to sign those before any work begins. Don't forget, the contract should include the down payment information, which we talked about. Shouldn't be more than 10% or $1,000, whichever is less. Again, you never want to pay in cash. The contract should also include a progress payment schedule. What we mean by this is you should only be giving the contractor half of the money when half of the work is done. You never want to let the money get ahead of the work. The money is your leverage in any situation with a contractor. Also on the contract, you want to make sure that any subcontractors or material suppliers that the contractor is using is listed on the contract. That way you have their information. You can make sure that they've been paid so there's not any mechanics lien situations down the line. The contract should also include a start and completion date. And if those things change, those should be initially changed on the written contract. Again, I mentioned this earlier, change orders should always be in writing and they should always be initialed and signed by both the homeowner and the contractor. Seniors, you should know you now have a 5-day right to cancel from any kind of contract. This is a brand new law for 2021, and this protects you from those door-to-door solicitors that we spoke about earlier. That was extended from 3 days to 5 days for this year. You also want to make sure you talk with your contractor about building permits. Building permits usually required and it's issued by your local building department. You want to make sure that the contractor is obtaining the building permit and you want this confirmed with the contractor. If a contractor is trying to get you to pull the permit, that's usually a red flag. Usually these local building departments, they'll ask the contractor, if that's pulling the permit, they'll ask them for their license number. So a good way to get around contractors who are unlicensed, they'll have you pull the permit. So it's always wise to make sure the contractor pulls the permit. We want to make sure that seniors know they can always file a complaint with CSLB. You can call us for a complaint form at the number on your screen, 1-800-321-CSLB. You can also go to our website, click file a complaint, and it'll give you a whole list of the steps to take to file a complaint. And you have 4 years from the date of construction to file a complaint. And here's a look on the website, big old button you can press to get all that information. And again, if you have any other questions, feel free to call us 1-800-321-CSLB or 2752. And that is it for me today. I'm going to hand it off to Diana Cavanagh of the Postal Inspection Service. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Diana Cavanagh. I'm with the United States Postal Inspection Service. I also have my coworker, Inspector Jeff Hedrick, with me here. He's going to help answer any questions that might come up. Just to give you a little bit of background, the Postal Inspection Service is the law enforcement branch of the Postal Service. We basically investigate any sort of federal crime that involves the mail. So anything postal related. That could include mail fraud, mail theft, violent crimes against postal employees, things like revenue fraud, drugs in the mail, child exploitation. Jeff and I in particular actually work cases involving mail fraud. And even if the scheme originally starts over the phone or through the internet, there's often a use of the mail, which actually makes it mail fraud. So that's where we come in. Common schemes that we see include sweepstakes scams, investment schemes, guaranteed prize promotions, and foreign lotteries. A lot of people are actually victimized repeatedly in these types of scams because their names are placed on lists that are compiled and then sold between scam artists. So that happens quite frequently with this kind of stuff. Based on the evidence that we can compile when these scams are brought to our attention, We can seek criminal charges against people that are perpetrating them, or we can take administrative action against the offenders and prevent them from further using the mail to repeat their scheme. We can intercept mail pieces that are involved, and we might issue destruction orders based on the circumstances. So this week in particular is National Consumer Protection Week. So this presentation is very timely. In National Consumer Protection Week, we try to push out public service announcements regarding different types of schemes and prevalent scams that are out there. And so our agency in particular this year are highlighting an issue involving what we call money mules. And what we mean by the term money mule is basically people who receive or transfer money obtained from victims of fraud. Some people that are actual money mules may not even know that they've become money mules and may not realize that their activity is actually benefiting fraudsters. So our agency put out a video that I'm going to play here shortly that kind of explains the scheme, and then we'll come back and kind of explain further what's in the video. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. One sec here. Gosh, what happened to it? You see it? Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, here we go.
That I got a primary letter in the mail. And inside this envelope, there was instructions to $200, $300. Are you going to ask something you don't know and request?
Hey, Diana.
Diana?
I'm not seeing your screen right now. I don't know if you shared your screen, but I'm not seeing your screen right now. I'm just seeing you.
Okay, hang on one sec. I don't know what happened here. Let's go back to the meeting and then try it. So, it should be in here. Right here. Okay, let's should be up here, right? There we go. Start it over. Can you guys see it now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that.
All of a sudden, I got a priority letter in the mail. Inside this envelope was a letter with instructions, what I had to do, and there were 2 money orders. They were each over $900.
Are you mailing cash to someone you don't know at the request of someone else? If so, it's possible that you are a money mule. Hi, I'm Andrea Avery, United States Postal Inspector. You may have heard that term money mule, but what exactly is it? A money mule is someone who transfers or moves money illegally obtained from victims of fraud. If you're mailing cash or packages in someone's direction, you're probably serving as a money mule and enabling fraudsters to harm others. Some people become money mules after being told they've won a sweepstakes, or they meet someone online or on a dating app, or they are responding to an online job opportunity.
They needed someone to send packages, so I sent my information in.
Although the stories vary by scheme, scammers ask the person to receive money or packages from people they don't know and forward them on to others they don't know. Some money mules know they've been recruited to support criminal activity, but others are unaware that they are helping criminals profit.
Receive packages at my home and then send them to wherever they tells me to send them. I noticed that all the packages that they sent to me went to Russia.
Anyone can be approached to be a money mule, but criminals often target students, those looking for work, or those on dating websites. Don't be a money mule. It's illegal and you can be prosecuted, even if you don't know you're committing a crime. Don't agree to receive money or packages from people you don't know, and don't forward anything those people send you. Do your homework. Don't engage in financial transactions with strangers. Check out any work-at-home opportunity or offer involving transferring money or packages with a trusted family member or friend. And finally, report suspected money mule activity or scams as soon as possible. Contact the Postal Inspection Service at uspis.gov/report or call 877-876-2455. Don't be a mule.
Okay, sorry about that technical difficulty. So that kind of outlines what we call a money mule. And just to kind of highlight a couple of things from the video, there are a few methods that these type of scammers usually try in recruiting victims. The first is pretty common. It's a work at home scam. So basically, someone will post a job on a job listing site, offering easy money for shipping packages or buying gift cards or postal money orders, which is something that can be done at home. Particularly now with COVID, a lot of people are looking for that type of work where they don't have to leave the house. So we've seen an increase in that type of scam. There's another sort of, we'll call it a confidence scam, where a person or a business you don't know offers you a cut or a commission if you transfer money for them. We're seeing a lot more of those involving supposed Bitcoin investments. So that's kind of a new twist on it that's happening. A lot of those types of scammers are very active on social media, Facebook and Instagram, soliciting people that way. The lottery scam still exists and is prevalent today. That's a scam that particularly targets our senior population. And it's basically where a person informs you, usually by phone or by mail, that you've won a giant prize, but in order to collect it, you have to pay a transfer fee, and then once you pay the transfer fee, you'll get your money. But usually what happens is if you pay the transfer fee, then you end up having to pay another transfer fee, and they'll string it along for as long as possible until you've paid a lot of money and haven't won anything. We also see romance scams on a dating website, or again, social media, where a person that you meet online and start to build a relationship with, or a supposed romantic relationship with, at some point asks you to transfer money or packages. So those are kind of the common ways that we see how people become involved as money mules. So the question is, what can you do to stop it? Obviously, don't engage in financial transactions with strangers. Whether it's transferring money in and out of your accounts or purchasing things for people you don't know, don't ever give out your personal information, obviously social security number or bank account number, to someone that you don't know. There's no legitimate reason that someone needs that information from you. Don't take a job that promises easy money or involves sending or receiving money or packages. Although the allure of working from home, is tempting, just remember the old adage, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Check it out. Check out any opportunity that comes up with a trusted family member or a friend. Run it by someone that you trust to see if it sounds legitimate or not with them. You can always contact the Better Business Bureau to find out if the business is legitimate. And then obviously if something seems suspicious, you can report it. We have a website that was on the video. It's very simple. It's uspis.gov, G-O-V. And we do have a section in there where you can report crimes or suspicious activity or things like that, so that we're aware of it and that we can investigate it. And that is all I have for today. Joe, you want to pass on the next presenter? I'm not sure who's after me.
So our next presenter is going to be Matthew Lara, along with Garrett McHenry. Again, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are watching this live streamed on our social media apps, we do apologize for any technical difficulties, but we do appreciate your patience and waiting on with us. So with that, Matt and Garrett, if you guys would like to unmute yourselves and give us our final presentation before we open it up to questions.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Garrett McHenry. I'm with the Bureau of Automotive Repair. Along with me, I have Matt Lara. He is going to be answering any questions that you may have along during this process. So we'll give you the condensed version of some of the things that we are coming across for the most part when it comes to auto repair. And before I get into that, I just want to explain what we do. We are a state agency, the Bureau of Automotive Repair, which is under the Department of Consumer Affairs. And what we do is we regulate the repair shops, auto body shops, mechanical shops, including any type of mobile auto repair, which is also allowed to have a license. But going into the mobile auto repair is where we're seeing a lot of the scams potentially out in the community. And we're finding that a lot of those mobile repair guys, whether it's having to do with any type of auto body repair or even mechanical repair, a lot of times they are advertising on Craigslist. And so they'll put some information on there that makes it seem like they're ASE certified, and they've been doing it for 20 years. You know, obviously the pricing is going to be very competitive and very enticing in the way that they display these Craigslist ads. But the other thing that we have come across over the years is where the general public sometimes might be approached in a parking lot. For example, if you're at Home Depot or maybe Walmart parking lot, some of those mobile guys will actually approach folks in the parking lot. They'll have some type of business card or something, but they usually keep it very vague. They don't give you a lot of information, and typically that's kind of a red flag that we tell the consumers is if they're approaching you, it's going to be very difficult for you to have any kind of recourse in the event that that you get scammed in that particular arrangement, if you do in fact make an arrangement to pay someone to do auto repair. First things you should be asking if you are seeking any type of auto repair, we kind of encourage to stay off of Craigslist. We've always tried to encourage the consumer to, if they don't have a shop that they've used in the past, to maybe rely on a friend or a family member and see if they've had a good experience or a long relationship where they can vouch for that particular business. But the ones that we're finding the biggest scams with is really the Craigslist ads. And I probably get a couple a month where somebody finds an individual who's claiming to do auto body repair. on Craigslist. They'll call and set up the individual to come out, give them a quote. Usually they're wanting parts up front or money up front for any parts or materials. And that's always, again, what we consider a red flag, where the individual is asking for money up front when there's no work that's been done. But we really want to encourage you to stay away, just in general, from any Craigslist ads, because there's really no recourse for us. A lot of times these guys will put the ads up, and then when they know that people are pursuing them in some fashion, they'll just pull the Craigslist ad down and put up another Craigslist, identifying themselves as maybe somebody different and not so similar to the first ad that they put up. So if you ever get approached, especially in a parking lot, we encourage you not to make any arrangements for any type of auto repair. Typically, people that have licenses don't work in that fashion. And the Craigslist ads, we're finding probably 80% of them are people that don't have a license to work. And the advantage of dealing with, obviously, someone who has a license is we're able to regulate that facility or that individual, and we have their information. And that's because they fill out an application to get registered with our department and have a license. So if you have had an experience where you felt that you were taken from a business or an individual, you could file a complaint with our department. We would look into that matter. If they did a very poor job, we will still come out and inspect your vehicle. We will try and mediate what your concerns are. In the event that we can't mediate your concerns, then we will help you with the process of pursuing that individual through the small claims court. We also do inspections, meaning if you had a insurance repair, for example, at a body shop, and maybe you were referred to the body shop, but the repairs don't seem up to par, or you're hearing some type of noise, maybe it was some type of suspension repair. Again, we have a couple of, we have a program, it is free, where we'll come out and do an auto body inspection. If we find something egregious, we'll probably at that point help you along with actually filing a formal complaint, where we'll conduct an investigation, meaning we'll go to the shop and gather their paperwork, of course, inspect your vehicle based on that paperwork to make sure that you got everything that was billed and charged, and that it was performed in the correct manner, up to trade standards. Again, if you have any questions along with this presentation, Lara is there to answer any questions you may have. And this is our first time on a virtual one, so we don't have any screens where we have the information to provide you. But if you want to write down our website, that website is going to be www.bar.ca.gov. In the event that we have an issue with a individual that files a complaint with us, we will be pursuing maybe a mobile auto repair. And if we are able to catch the individual, it's usually about a 50-50 chance, depending on how much information they put out there. And if the phone number is still good, we have certain ways of being able to try and make contact with that individual that took your money. If we do make contact with them, we do give them an unlicensed citation. We try and gather their information by way of a CDL. That information is put into a file that's created on that individual and that encounter that we had. And that is our way of tracking, hopefully, any type of mobile repair person that is out there scamming people. And so sometimes, you know, we have the same guy on a couple consumers in the same month. So we have our ways of trying to make contact with these individuals and get your money back. But, you know, we really, unless you know the individual that's posting on the Craigslist ad in regards to auto repair, or you were specifically referred to that individual and you feel comfortable, again, in most cases, we are going to discourage you from seeking auto repair on Craigslist, especially the mobile guys that come out to you. There's very few mobile repair guys that are legit licensed mechanics or auto body technicians. that will roam around and go house to house. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add, Matt, that maybe I didn't touch on. But if you want to add, you're welcome to add. Okay. And if we have any questions, we'll be answering those through the chat room. And again, with the Bureau of Automotive Repair, our website is www.bar.ca.gov. And with that, you can file a complaint, you can file an auto body inspection, or you can just call just to find out if somebody that you're dealing with is actually have a license with our department. And with that, I will end it unless you have anything to say, Mr. Matthew.
Yes, I wanted to present to the attendees. This is the bar.ca.gov website. It is actually a new website that was rolled out at the beginning of this month. The consumers can obtain any information here. Consumers can obtain any information here on industry facilities and repair technicians. If you want to contact the Bureau, you can hit the contact icon up in the upper right. All the numbers and links to access the Bureau's information are there for you. The Bureau's number is 1-800-952-5210. If you, as Garrett mentioned earlier, if you have a family or a friend, some friend that will help you or can assist you, if you don't feel comfortable obtaining a repair facility, the things that the Bureau recommends when you walk into a facility, always look for the registration sign. The Bureau can, all required registrants are required to post this sign in view of the public and also have their license. You can also access and locate a shop on our Bureau locator. You can use your location. It'll identify registered facilities, give you their address, their information, and their license number. So should you have a problem in the future, or if you're having a repair performed, you can contact the Bureau, provide the license number, and we'll advise you how to proceed, whether it's file a complaint or to discuss any concerns that you have that you may feel that you were taken advantage of or the process didn't go properly. On the website, you can also access consumer information under the consumer icon. You can find an auto shop. You can look up an individual's license. So if you do go into a facility and they provide you with a license, you can verify that it is a valid license and maybe the license is not old. The license itself should have a current date, an expiration date. You can also file a complaint here, and this is where you can also request collision repair inspection. The Bureau is the regulatory agency for the automotive repair. We provide consumer protections and shop owners and facilities. Okay, I think that's what I wanted to present.
Very good.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Garrett and Matt. And we did receive a question that came in that I believe either of you might be able to address, but how long would an individual have to report for any misconduct that is done with your organization?
Well, a facility, an individual consumer can file a complaint at any time. We get complaints anywhere from the car still in the shop until the car has been out of the shop for a few years and they finally notice something. The facilities are only required to maintain the documentation presented to us for 3 years.
Wonderful. So 3 years. And then I believe, I just want to get clarification also from Diana Cavanagh that there was a duration of time as well for those who have to report in the money mule situation, correct?
There's no set duration of time. The only time constraints we have are a statute of limitations with a crime. But normally, obviously as quickly as possible is better for us in terms of being able to investigate something.
Wonderful. And I just want to open it up. If anyone else, please feel free to reach out to us in the chat if you do have questions for any of our speakers. So I'll leave a little bit of time, and then if there are no more, I will allow all of our panelists to give a little bit of a closing remarks, and we will be sure to wrap this up by 2 p.m. So please feel free to let us know if you have questions, guys. Okay, well, it appears that there are no questions. So Kevin, Deanna, and Matt and Garrett, if you guys have any closing remarks you'd like to provide for our attendees and any advice you may give going forward.
I think we're okay.
Yeah, I would just like to emphasize to seniors again, use the material, use the tools that are available to you when hiring a contractor. I know it's really easy to find a lot of unlicensed contractors on Craigslist, on Facebook groups, ads. Most of the time you won't see a license number in those ads, which should automatically be a red flag to you. Usually means they're unlicensed, and you might think you're saving a lot of money up front by going with an unlicensed contractor, but it could cost you a lot more money in the end to deal with all the headaches and problems. Unfortunately, a lot of times when you give these unlicensed contractors your money, whether they ask for too much money up front, remember 10% or 1,000, whatever's less for a down payment. If you give them too much money up front, that money disappears, they disappear, the job is left either unfinished or of poor quality, and you're going to end up having to pay someone else to do the job right or to fix the mistakes. And going through CSLB is a great way to try to get back some of what you lost, but that can be a very time-consuming process, So I'd encourage you to do it right the first time. Hire a licensed contractor. Go to cslb.ca.gov. Check the license number before you hire anyone. Sometimes the contractor might have let their license lapse. Their license might be inactive and they don't even know. So you're not going to be getting the protection, the CSLB protection. Okay, that's all I was going to say. Diana, do you have anything to add from a postal inspector? Going in order here.
Yeah, I'll just add, please don't ever be afraid to report something, especially if you think you may have been the victim of fraud. Don't be afraid or ashamed to come forward because in the end, you could end up helping a lot of other people that end up in the same shoes. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. We really appreciate your time, and all of our participants. Thank you for your wonderful advice, which truly appreciated. And we wish you all a wonderful weekend, and to please stay safe. And if you do see something, say something. And if you have any further questions for events or things going on with the Assemblywoman, please visit our website at a65.asmdc.gov. Okay, take care, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.